Hallelujah. Welcome to Israel Nation Shabbat class and service. Setting up here. Wait for everyone, for those of us that's watching by internet. Waiting for some folk to come up. Make sure everybody is coming into the room with us. Hope everyone had a blessed week and enjoyed this Shabbat thus far. So Brother Ira is going to come with our law reading, and then we're going to go right into our lesson.
Today's law reading is going to be in the book of Psalms, chapter 1, the whole chapter of Psalms 1, 6 verses. And it reads, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Almighty. And in his law do he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, or whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For thy power knoweth the ways of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish."
The way of the ungodly shall perish. Thank you, Captain Ida, for reading our law reading for today. And we're going to go straight over into our lesson. Everybody okay? Everybody all right? Good. Good. I need everybody to buckle the seatbelts as we're in for a doozy today. The name of today's lesson is A Race of Devils, Origins, and Beginnings. A race of devils, origins, and beginnings. The foundation of racism is to maintain the status quo. You cannot have systemic racism or maintain the institution of racism without ensuring that things will remain the same. Therefore, racism will never end. It is in my humble opinion, and that I believe that the Bible is saying racism will never end. It is in the very fabric of our society. It is just as much a part of the United States Constitution as part of the United States as the United States Constitution, or the so-called Bill of Rights. And for some of us, we have to learn that there is no negotiation with the wicked. So, go ahead and protest if you wish. March if you must. Enter into the political arena and try to somehow reason with the devil. But I'll say this: when the rain of racism descends from the heavens and the inequality comes in like a flood, there will be a great fall. This country that is immersed in deceit and is built upon lies, it will never be able to stand. And you will be soon swept away by those same flood waters of hatred and war. This country was built and is ran and is financed by a race of devils, of whom we will discover in the Bible their origins and their beginnings. Revelations 3 and 9.
Revelations 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
Read it again.
Revelations 3, verse 9.
Read.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. Come on.
Which say they are not, they are Jews.
Which say they are Jews.
And are not.
And are not.
But do lie.
But they do lie.
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
I will make them worship before your feet. Why?
And to know that I have loved thee.
They're going to learn that I love you, Israel. So let's take the first top part of that again. Let's read that again.
Revelations 3 and 9.
Come on.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. Let's take this right quick. Now, I want to grab a precept, but it's not necessarily a precept, but it shows you the concept of what the of here is talking about. Give me 1 Corinthians, start at verse 11. We want to verse 11 and 12.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verses 11 and 12. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man, in thy power.
Come on.
For as the woman is of the man.
Read it again.
For as the woman is of the man.
As the woman is of the man, meaning she is his partner. She is a part of. You can't have one without the other. It is her yin to his yang. They supposed to be together. This is the of here. Read it again.
For as the man is of the man, for as the woman is of the man.
Now, if the woman is of the man, she is a part of the man. Come on.
Even so is the man also by the woman.
It's also the man by the woman. Come on.
But all things of Yah.
But all things of Yah. That was all 12. Now let's go back to Revelations 3 and 9.
Revelations 3, verse 9.
That was 1 Corinthians 11, chapter 11, verses 11 and 12. This is not, I'm not saying that this is a precept to this verse, but it is showing you the concept of what the of is. Of meaning they go together. They're hand in hand. Now let's read the top of verse 9 again. Revelation 3 and 9.
Revelation 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
Which say they are Jews.
Which say they are Jews.
And are not.
And are not.
But do lie.
But do lie. Now that word synagogue is a Greek word. A lot of our Hebrew brothers and sisters, they don't like to use the word synagogue. It is a Greek word because we know that the so-called white Jews use that word synagogue. But it only means from the Greek to bring together or to come together or a congregation. It literally means bring again or come in together. That's literally what it means. Read it.
Revelations 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
Come on.
Which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
I will make them worship before your feet.
And to know that I have loved thee.
And they're going to know that I have loved thee, Israel. Now give me Revelations 2 and 9. Let's go to chapter before it. Because it's interesting that the Messiah said this twice. He said this, he reiterated it and said it again.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. And it reads, I know thy works.
I know your works, Israel.
And tribulation.
And I know the trouble and tribulation that you are going through. Come on.
And poverty. But thou art rich.
But you're rich because of who you are. Come on.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say that they are Jews.
Read that again.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say that they are Jews. And are not.
Come on.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
Now blasphemy means to be an offense or to be sacrilegious or blasphemous, or another word for blasphemy is to be profane. Is to be profane. Who else we know that is profane? Let's see. Give me let's hold that. Give me Hebrews right there. 12 and 16. 16 and 17. To be blasphemous means to be profane.
12 and 15.
12 and 16.
Hebrews 12, verse 16. lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau,
Come on.
who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Read verse 16 again.
Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person,
Blasphemous person, come on.
as Esau,
As just like Esau is, come on.
who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Keep going.
For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected.
Y'all rejected him.
For he found no place of repentance.
No place for repentance. Come on.
Though he sought it carefully with tears.
No repentance for you, Esau. None whatsoever. None for you. None for you. So let's go through a couple of core scriptures so before we can come back to this. We must lay a foundation before we reach to the point of where I'm trying to go. Let's go to Malachi. Let's go to Malachi, the first chapter of Malachi. So verse 1, start at verse 1.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1. And it reads, the burden of the word of the Most High to Israel by Malachi.
That's what I want. Jump down to verse 3.
And I hated Esau.
Oh, wait a minute. Makes it plain, doesn't it? You don't waste no time. You get right into it. Go back to verse 1 again.
And it reads, the burden of the word of the Most High to Israel.
To who?
To Israel.
To Israel. This is what the Most High want to tell Israel. Come on.
By Malachi.
By the prophet Malachi. Jump down to verse 3.
And I hated Esau.
I hated Esau.
And laid
I'm
his...
telling you of a truth. I hate him. This is what God is saying. I hate him. You know, it's no matter how you feel about him. I mean, how nice of a person you think he is. Well, you know, saying what you gonna, hey, sit down and have breakfast with him. Just know for surety, I hate Esau. Come on.
And laid his mountains and his heritage waste.
Come on.
For the dragons of the wilderness.
And I'm going to destroy where he lives. I'm going to destroy him.
Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
Read.
Thus saith the Most High, thou power of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down.
They're going to build, but I'm going to throw down.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
What do they call them?
The border of wickedness.
The border of wickedness. Come on.
And the people against whom the Most High have indignation forever.
I have hatred and anger and wrath forever against them. Why do they call them the border of wickedness? Why? First Maccabees 1. First Maccabees 1 and start at verse 7.
First Maccabees 1 verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years, and then he died. And his servants bare rule every one in his place.
Come on.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
They did. Come on.
So did their sons after them many
they
years.
Did too. Come on.
And evil were multiplied in the earth.
And what was?
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
Because of these men being rulers and governors in the earth, evil began to be multiplied in the earth. Come on.
And there came out of them a wicked root.
There came out of one of these men a wicked root.
Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes,
read.
Son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned 137 years of the kingdom of the Greeks.
That's what I wanted. Of the kingdom of the Greeks. So now we know who's the wicked people that the Bible is talking about. The Greeks was the wicked people that the Bible was talking about. Right? Right. Let's go back to Revelations 2 and 9. I thought I was done with Revelations 2 and 9.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9.
Let's read it with clarity now.
I know thy works, and tribulation,
Come on.
and poverty,
Come on. on.
But thou art rich.
You're rich.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say that they are Jews.
The profaneness of them that say they are Jews. Come on.
And are not.
Come on.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
But they are of Satan. Let's go to verse 10 now.
Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
Stop. You have to think about this now. Think about what the Bible is saying. There's a plain statement that's being made here. It is very plain. A lot of us hear this verse all the time. Revelations 2 and 9. And a lot of Israelites, we say it, but we don't go to 10. Go to 10 because 10 makes it very, very plain. And some of you, I'm looking at some of you, and y'all ain't caught it yet. Read verse 10 again.
Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Don't fear none of the tribulations or whatever the trials or what you're going through or whatever the society of the devil is putting you through. Don't fear any of that. Read.
Behold,
Uh-huh.
the devil shall
Stop. Behold what?
the devil,
Behold who?
the devil
The devil, come on.
shall cast some of you into prison.
Now, do you think the spiritual demon Ha-Shaytan is going to take you, put handcuffs in you and take you to the jail and put you in prison? So who here is the Bible calling the devil? Who here is the Bible calling the devil? Who's going to lock you up and put you in prison? You said it, Deacon Keeper said it. The Romans was one group of them, the devils. But more specifically, that's right, Esau, because the Romans was the Edomites. But more specifically and more pointedly here, he said, who did they say? Who did he say here? Those that are of the synagogue of Satan. Those are of the synagogue of Satan. Those that are of the synagogue of Satan. Let's read verse 10 again.
Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
The devil is going to cast some of you in prison. Come on.
That ye may be tried.
That ye may be tried.
And ye shall have tribulation 10 days.
And you going to have tribulation 10 days. Now some of y'all stuck.
How you know?
Some of y'all stuck right now.
Right.
That means I'm going to have tribulation 10 days.
10
What
days.
do you mean? Right? Let's read it again and then we're going to get to understand. From the top.
Huh?
From the top.
Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Don't fear anything that you just suffered. Not the tribulation or anything that you're going through, Israel. Don't fear it. Come on.
Behold,
Uh-huh.
the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
The devil is going to cast some of you into prison. The devil that I'm speaking about is the same devil that I just said was of the synagogue of Satan. The same devils. That's who I'm talking about. Come on.
That ye may be tried.
That you might be tried.
And ye shall have tribulation.
And you're going to have trouble and tribulations. Come on.
10 days.
10 days. Read.
Be thou faithful
But be faithful
unto death.
unto death. Read.
And I will give thee a crown of life.
And I'm going to give you the crown of life. But what do you mean 10 days? If this is Yahushua talking right here. What do we mean by I'm going to have tribulation 10 days? He is alluding to something that we should know. But being that we lost our history, heritage, culture, we don't know. He's just alluding to something we should know. That something happened in the past in another captivity. Something went on that he's alluding to. Let's go to Daniel. The book of Daniel, first chapter, start at the 12th verse. First chapter, 12th verse. We're going to read 12 through 17.
Daniel 1, verses 12 through 17. Prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days.
Do it, say it again.
Daniel 1 and 12. Prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days.
Prove your servants 10 days. Come on.
And let them give us pulse to eat
Uh-huh.
and water to drink.
Now, do y'all understand what he's talking about when he says 10 days? Not yet. Not fully. We're going to understand it, though. Read.
Then let our countenance be looked upon before thee.
Come and look at us after you prove us the 10 days. Put us through the test 10 days. Prove us we're in the land of our captivity. We're in the land of our enemies. But prove us 10 days. Come on.
Then let our countenance be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat.
Come on.
And as thou seest, deal with thy servants.
As you see, deal with us then as you see. Read.
So he consented to them in this matter.
Come on.
And proved them 10 days.
And he proved them, meaning he tested them 10 days. He tested them 10 days. Read.
And at the end of 10 days,
And at the end of those 10
their
days,
countenance appeared fairer and fatter in the flesh.
they was better. They looked better than all the heathens that was around them. Come on.
Then their countenance appeared fairer
Uh-huh.
and fatter in flesh
Come
than
on.
all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat.
Read on.
Thus Melzar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they should drink, and gave them pulse.
Gave them vegetation. They got veggies. That's what they got. They was vegans for only 10 days, and look what happened. 10 days of not eating meat. You know what I'm saying? 10 days of not eating meat. Come on.
As for these 4 children,
What happened after those 10 days?
Yah gave them knowledge and skills,
Yah gave them knowledge and skills. Come on.
and all learning and wisdom.
And all learning and wisdom
And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams.
and dreams. He was given a similitude when he said 10 days of your tribulation, just like Daniel went through the 10 days. If you do what's right in that time span, whatever that time span is, you're going to have all of the skills and the knowledge and the wisdom that's coming from the Most High. It was only a similitude. It wasn't anything specific. It was a similitude. Let's go back and read it again, because that's a story that you should know, but you don't know. You should know that story. So that's why he brought it out. We started at Revelations. We're going back to Revelations 2 and 10. Revelations 2 and 10.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
The ones that are of the synagogue of Satan, the ones that run this country, the one that runs the world banks, that's who he's talking about. Come on.
That ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days.
10 days, come on.
Be thou faithful unto death.
But be faithful when you go through your trial, like Daniel and those other men were faithful those 10 days they went through their test. You be faithful going through your test. Read.
And I will give thee a crown of life.
And he's going to give us the crown. So yes, we can call Esau the devil. And it's not out of any sense of emotionalism. Don't get me wrong. But it's purely biblically based. Purely. I'm not just so uptight, just, you know what I'm saying, walk around hating so-called white folks all day. I hate you white folks. I hate you white folks. I don't do that. It's biblically based. It's biblically based. Because they are in direct opposition. They're in direct opposition to God, and they are the anti-Messiah. So, when we get deeper into this lesson, like our nation, the Edomites are a nation of tribes. So we see that some of us tend to forget that. The Israelites are a nation made up of 12 tribes. The Edomites as well are nations that's made up of several tribes. So you don't just have one group of people. There's different sects, different sets of Edomites. Just like there's different tribes of Israelites. All right. So what we want to do is we want to go and specifically go and point out to those who are calling themselves Jews and are not. We want to see what tribe that is, and can we biblically place them, and does the Bible say who that is, and how did they convert over to calling themselves Jews. That's what we want to do. All right. So let's begin. Give me Genesis, the 36th chapter, and we're going to start at the 9th verse.
Genesis 36 and 9. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir.
Esau is the father of who?
Of the Edomites in Mount Seir.
Read on.
These are the names of Esau's sons. Eliphaz, the son of Ada, the wife of Esau. Reuel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son. And she bare Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Ada, Esau's wife.
And they bare to Eliphaz Amalek. Now Amalek became the head tribe among his nation, as Judah became the head tribe among our nation. So give me Numbers 24 now. Numbers 24 and 16. I want 16 through 20.
Book of Numbers, chapter 24, verses 16 through 20. And it reads, He hath said, which heard the words of Yah, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the visions of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. I shall see him.
I'm going to see him,
but not now. I shall behold him, but not now. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Seth. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies. And Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he looked on Amalek,
remember in Genesis 36, we just brought out Amalek, the grandson of Esau, who he was, right? And we know that Amalek became the head tribe of the Edomite nation. Read. And when he looked on Amalek, come on.
He took up his parable.
What did he say?
And said, Amalek was the first of the nations.
Amalek is the first of the nations.
But his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
So Amalek is the first of his nation. Amalek is the first of his nation. I will submit to you that Amalek is the so-called white Jew, the synagogue of Satan, the devil that the Bible speaks of. This is Amalek. And we're going to further prove what we are saying. All right? Can we Deuteronomy 25 and 19?
Deuteronomy 25, verse 19. Therefore it shall be, when the Most High Yah hath given thee rest from all thine enemies round about, in the land which the Most High hath given thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
That you shall blot out the remembrance of Amalek. That means kill them all. The Most High don't want any of them around. Come on.
Thou shalt not forget it.
Thou shalt what?
Not forget it.
Thou shalt never ever forget Amalek got to go. And Amalek is of the devil. I accept it. You accept it? I accept that. 1 Samuel 15. 1 Samuel 15, 8. We're going to start with verse 8. Who's better reading? Got a better reading.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 8. And it reads, And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
Read it again.
And he took Agag, the king.
He took Agag. I want y'all to remember that name. He took Agag, The what?
The king of the Amalekites.
The king of the Amalekites, come on.
Alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
And utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. He took Agag, the king of the Amalekites. Saul took them alive. Took him alive. He was supposed to kill him, but he took him alive. It's like Saul's acting like many of the brews today. He just got to have Esau with him. He said, I ain't gonna kill you. You come on with me in my tent. Esau, we're gonna have us some lamb. Most High said, kill him. He said, I ain't gonna do you like that. You ain't all that bad. Come on. Come on.
Keep going.
Yo, keep going. We
But Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them.
It would not utterly destroy them. He would not utterly destroy them. Come on.
But everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly. Then came the word of the Most High unto Samuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king.
The Most High said, I gotta repent for even making this man king. He made up in his mind right there, Saul got to go. Because you can't keep jigabooing around. Knee slapping and jigabooing. You can't keep doing that. The Most High said all of these people got to go. All of these sheep, all of their houses, everything, utterly destroy these people. And you're going to say, well, I'm going to save this pot right here because this is a good pot. This is nice Edomite right here. Can't I just make them my friend? This one right here. It's so nice. The Most High said, no. They all got to go. Every last one of them got to go. With no exception. Read on.
It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Most High all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gibeah. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of thy power.
He playing games now. Saul playing games now. Come on.
I have performed the commandment of the Most High.
He's lying. No, he didn't do that. He's lying. I performed all the commandments of the Most High. You know you didn't. You're lying. The king, the Edomite king is in your tent right now having some lamb right now. You're lying. Come on.
No.
Okay,
no.
all right, read.
No, and Samuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in my
He
ears?
said, well, I hear them sheep over there. That's what it means by the bleating of the sheep. He said, why I keep hearing sheep crying out over here? It ain't supposed to be happening. Come on.
And the lowing of the oxen which I hear. And Saul said, They have bought them from the Amalekites. For the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice it to the Most High thou power. And the rest we have utterly destroyed.
The rest we destroyed. We just kept the best for the Most High Yah. We did. We kept the best for Yah. Come on.
Then Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee what the Most High hath said to me this night.
I'm going to tell you what the Most High said to me this night.
And he said unto me, Say on. And Samuel said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Most High anointed thee king over Israel. And the Most High sent thee on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners of the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed.
Meaning all of them, until they are consumed. All of them are gone. So we just read the commandment in Deuteronomy, right? It said until they are gone from under the heavens. He wants them out of there. Come on.
Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Most High thy power,
Come on.
but didst fly upon the spoil,
Mhm.
and didst evil in the sight of him.
Come on.
And Saul said unto Samuel, Yeah, I have obeyed the voice of the Most High,
Mhm.
and have gone the way which the Most High sent me, and have brought Agag the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil
Now you won't blame it on the people. Come on.
sheep and ox,
The people did it. The people spared that them other Edomites and they sheep and stuff. Come on.
the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice to the Most High thy power in Gilgal. And Samuel said, Have the Most High as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of him?
Come on.
Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat ram.
That's it.
Hope everybody listen.
Come on.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of thy power, he hath also rejected thee from being king.
So that at that point, Saul lost the kingdom. He was done. Y'all was done. That was 23, right?
Yeah.
That's all I wanted was 23. And I want to read the rest of the chapter. So let's go to Esther 3 and 1. Because we know Saul didn't kill all of the Amalekites. I'm sorry. He didn't kill them all. So if he did, we wouldn't see one showing up in Esther, the first chapter. In Esther. Let's see who that is. Come
Esther
on.
3 and 1.
Come on.
After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, in advance.
The Agagite. Go read. Hold that. Go back to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel. Go to verse 8.
The book of 1 Samuel,
15 and 8.
chapter 15, verse 8, and it reads,
Uh-huh.
And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
He took who?
Agag.
He took Agag. He took Agag. A-G-A. Is it A-G-A? Yes. Agag. He took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, right?
Alive.
Alive. He took him alive, right?
Yep.
So we know that some of these Agagites or these Amalekites, we knew that they were that they had survived and he had not killed them all. How do we know? Esther 3 and 1.
Esther 3 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite.
The Agagite, he shouldn't have been there. He should have been killed. Or he should not have been born because that line should have been gone. That line was not gone because Saul disobeyed. Read.
Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
So that Edomite was there ruling in that region and in that land because he was from because he had royal blood in him. He descended from kings. He was there in Persia ruling, and the king there recognized him and set him up and gave him power over our people, who he tried to kill our people. But if it wasn't for our sister that helped us and her uncle who helped us get delivered out of that situation, we shouldn't have been through that.
Right.
We shouldn't have had to go through that because that man shouldn't have been there. Should have been gone. Give me out of the Apocrypha, give me the additions to Esther. The additions to Esther in the Apocrypha. Additions to Esther, chapter 16, give me verse 10.
The book of additions to Esther in the Apocrypha, chapter 16, verse 10. And it reads, For Amon, Macedonian, the son of
Amen.
Yeah.
That's the same as Haman and Esther. It's just a Greek way of saying it. Haman.
For Amen, a Macedonian.
The Macedonian. Listen to the wording. Amen, the Macedonian. Amen, the Macedonian. The Agagite that's in Esther 3 and 1. Come on.
The son of Amminadab, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood,
Come on.
and far distant from our goodness, And as a stranger received of us.
As a stranger received of us. Read the top of it again. For Ammon who?
For Ammon, a Macedonian.
Ammon the Macedonians. Let's find out who the Macedonians is. Give me First Maccabees 1:1. Who was the Macedonians?
First Maccabees 1:1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
Wait a minute. Go read it again.
First Maccabees 1:1.
Read.
And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
The Edomites that are called Macedonians. Ammon was called the Macedonian, who was an Agagite. The Agagite was of the line of the Amalekites that we read in 1 Samuel. Y'all see that? We read 1 Samuel. All right, read on.
Who came out of the land of Chittim.
Chittim is Rome, ancient name for Rome. Read.
Has smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
Come on.
That he reigned in his stead.
Who was he?
The first over Greece.
The first over Greece. The first over Greece. Not that Greece did not exist. There were black-skinned people living in Greece before they got there. They took power. The Edomites did. All right. Was that it? You want to? Yeah.
First
I thought you read it. I'm sorry.
First Maccabees 1:2. And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth.
Oh, no, that's all I want. All right. Now, let's go into the history book a little bit. Let's go to the Antiquity of the Jews by Flavius Josephus. I want to, you know which two I want. I got them marked. Right. Chapter, Antiquity of the Jews, book 13, chapter 9.
This is the book of the works of Josephus. Book 13, chapter 9, section 1.
Section 1, last paragraph.
The last paragraph. And it reads, Hyrcanus took also Dora and Marissa, cities of Idumea, and subdued all the Idumeans, and permitted
cities of Idumea, and subdued the Idumeans.
And
that's right.
And permitted them to stay in that country, if they would circumcise their genitals.
If they were circumcised, they would get circumcised. Here we're talking about, and I might have jumped a little bit, but here we're talking about John Hyrcanus the first. John Hyrcanus the first was king and priest of Israel. He was an Israelite. John Hyrcanus was an Israelite. He took on a Grecian name, but he was of the Maccabees clan.
And make use of the laws of the Jews. And they were so desirous of living in the country of their forefathers, that they submitted to the use of the circumcision.
These particular Idumeans or Edomites, they were so against going back to their own land of Idumea that they submitted. They submitted to living in Israel, in our land, and
the rest of the Jewish ways of living.
And they committed to the rest of the Jewish ways of living. Excuse me. So don't you know how when they came and overtook our lands, that they made us uncircumcise ourselves, they made us not keep our feast days and things of that nature. John Hyrcanus said, yes, you all can live in these lands, but you're going to keep our laws and you're going to get circumcised. So John Hyrcanus made them keep our laws. He made them keep our laws, made them get circumcised. If you're going to stay here, that's what you're going to do. Read on. Is that it?
Nope. At which time, therefore, this befell them, that they were hereafter no other than Jews.
Read it. No, that's very important. Read it again.
At which time, therefore, this befell them, that they were hereafter no other than Jews.
As time went on, they were here. They were known no more as Edomites. They were known as Jews. This is where you get those white Jews from.
Right.
This is where it comes from. There was no more known as Edomites. They were known as Jews. Now, is that all of that one? Now, okay, call the book in the section.
In the same book, the works of Josephus, in book 15, chapter 7, section 9, the top half of the paragraph. And it reads, Costobarus was an Idumean by birth, and one of the principal dignity among them, and one whose ancestor had been priest to the Codes, whom the Idumeans had formerly esteemed as a god. But after Hyrcanus had made a change in their political government and made them receive the Jewish customs and laws.
Hyrcanus made a change. This priest and this king, he made a change in their political government. This man had power. Come on.
Herod made Costobarus governor of Idumea and Gaza, and gave him his sister Salome to wife. And this was upon his slaughter of his uncle Joseph, who had the government before, as we had related already. When Costobarus had gotten to be so highly advanced, it pleased him, and was more than he hoped for, and he was more and more puffed up by his good success. And in a little while he exceeded all bounds, and did not think fit to obey what Herod, as their ruler, commanded him, or that the Idumeans should make use of the Jewish customs, or be subject to them.
Or be subject to them. So after a little while, he said, I don't want to be subject to their customs, so they made their own customs. That's where you have your Talmuds, and that's where you get all this stuff from. And so we won't be subject to what that king and that priest is saying. They rebelled. I don't want to be subject to what they're saying anymore. We want to do our own thing, while still calling themselves Jews.
You said chapter 15. Where in the book?
No, book 15,
Book 15.
chapter 7, section 9. It's like the first half of the paragraph.
That's in the works of Josephus. It's in the antiquities of the Jews. Give me First Maccabees 16 chapter. We're going to read about John, Hyrcanus, Simon, all of the Maccabean brothers. 16, yeah, starting verse 1.
First Maccabees 16, verses 1 and 2. Then came John from Gazera.
That's John Hyrcanus. Come on.
And told Simon, his father, what Candidius had done. Wherefore Simon called his two eldest sons, Judas and John, and said unto them, I and my brethren and my father's house have ever from my youth unto this day fought against the enemies of Israel.
Come on.
And things have prospered so well in our hands.
That means they was kicking butt. They was winning. That's what it meant.
That we have delivered Israel oftentimes.
That we delivered Israel out of the hands of our enemies. They were winning. Read. Is that it?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. That's all I wanted to verse 2. Little verse 2, that's all I wanted. Now let's get Esther right quick. Let me Esther 8 and 17.
The book of Esther, chapter 8, and verse 17, and it reads, And in every province, and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews.
Read it again.
And many of the people of the land became Jews.
How do you become a Jew? You're not even in Judea. You understand what I'm saying? Why did they become Jews? Read it again.
For the fear of the Jews came upon them.
The fear of the Jews came upon them. That's why. The Edomites was running around there, and we was kicking butt. It was like, I'm a Jew, man. I'm a Jew. Leave me alone. I'm a Jew. I'm serious. This is what happened. That's what happened. I'm a Jew. I'm good. I'm a Jew. I don't want no static. I don't want no smoke. I'm a Jew. Trust it. Believe it. You have many of Edomites like that today. That's why you see a lot of them in our congregation. You know, trying to get in where they fit in. Give me, they know what's coming. Give me 8:17. They don't want no smoke. I want Esther 8:17. One more gear.
And it reads, and in every province and in every city, whether
in every province, and in every city. That means everywhere. That means everywhere. In every province, in every city. Everywhere. Come on.
whathersoever the king's commandment,
Wherever the king's commandment, wherever the king ruled, wherever the Persian king ruled,
and his decree came,
come on.
the Jews had joy and gladness,
Come on.
a feast, and a good day.
This is talking about Purim. Come on.
And many of the people of the land became Jews.
And many of the people of the land became Jews.
For the fear of the Jews
This is
fell
where you
upon
get. This is where you get your European white Talmudic Jew. This is why you got so many sections of them. The Sephardic Jews, all of those different people, they all come from Persia. When the Persians ruled, and we made them become. When the Greeks ruled, and we made. When John Hyrcanus ruled, we made them. You ain't gonna be around here eating pig and stuff. You gonna keep the laws in this land, or you can get up out of here. That's what happened. They rebelled. We went into captivity. They said, "What do we do now? All the priests are gone. What are we gonna do? Guess we gotta make up our own stuff." That's what happened. That's what happened. Is that it? Culture post. Yep, give me Zechariah 8:23. That particular conversion happened during the Medo-Persian captivity of the Israelites. Okay, you might want to write that down. That particular conversion, the one we just read in Esther 8:17, that particular conversion happened during the Medo-Persian captivity of the Israelites.
Zechariah 8:23. Thus saith the Most High, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take a hold of all the languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that Yah is with you.
So this has already happened and it will happen. It has already happened. It is happening now. It is happening now. We're not ready for it. This is a future prophecy, and we're not conditioned right now for it. We have to learn how to deal with one another first. You can't have a bunch of Edomites in here. Can you imagine that? A bunch of Edomites in here? When our brothers and sisters out there lost. They can't come and join us until we get us together first. Yeah, then they can sit in the back room of the section, way in the cheap seat, way in the back. That's right, and learn something, and learn these laws, because that's what we ought to be doing anyway, teaching the world these laws. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But they can't come in here. You all calling them, hey, shalom, this, that, and the other. Your brother out there dying in the street. Israel first. Give me 1 Samuel 21:7. They have always somehow tried to cleave to us, and even in their captivity to us, when we ruled over them, they had to follow our laws, because that was the law. It was a law for you and for the stranger that's within your gates. Give me 1 Samuel 21:7.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 21, verse 7, and it reads, Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before the Most High, and his name was Doeg,
Go ahead.
an Edomite,
And the Edomite.
the chiefest of the herdmen that belonged to Saul.
Read it again. He was the one in charge of Saul's herd. Read it again.
Now a certain man of the service of Saul was there that day,
Come on.
detained before the Most High.
Come
And
on.
his name was Doeg,
Come on.
an Edomite,
An Edomite.
the
Come on.
chiefest of the herdmen that belonged to Saul.
The chiefest of the herdmen that belonged to Saul. He had to keep the laws. You think he gonna be keeping the king's sheep and he out there eating pigs and snakes and stuff? No. He kept the law. He was a servant, a slave to Saul, and he kept the laws. He had to. All right. I was going to go through that, but I won't go through that. I'll leave that out. But I will say this. The Oxford Bible Atlas, page 84, it states this. That Herod was a Jew by religion. He was of non-Jewish descent, but possessed the understanding of the customs of the Jews. His children was also taught the law and customs of the Israelites. That is very, very important. Very, very important to note. You know, I'm going to say it again. You can find this in the Oxford Bible Atlas, page 84, and it states, Herod was a Jew by religion. He was of non-Jewish descent, but possessed an understanding of the Jews' customs. His children was also taught the laws and customs of the Israelites, meaning the schools that were set up all around, the centers that were set up all around, it was white folk around too, so-called white folk. There was Edomites around too, and they learned our customs. Herod sent his kids to learn at the same schools that the Israelite children was going to. Go learn their customs. Go learn the law. Go ahead. Herod sent them there. Why? Why did he do that? Because he got it from Antipater, his daddy, who was made to do it by John Hyrcanus I. We made him do it. We made him do it. All right. Give me Acts 26, chapter 26. I want verses 2. We don't have long, y'all.
Acts 26, verses 2 and 3. I think myself happy, King Agrippa, because I shall answer for myself this day before thee, touching all the things whereof I am accused of the Jews.
Start at verse 1. I'm sorry. Start at verse 1.
Acts 26, verses 1 through 3. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, Thou art permitted to speak for thyself. Then Paul stretched forth the hand and answered for himself.
Do everybody know who Agrippa is? Agrippa is part of the Herodian dynasty. He is a descendant of the Herods.
Okay.
You know everybody. I know everybody know who Herod the Great is, right? Right. So that is his part of his family lineage. Herod was an Idumean or an Edomite, right? We just talked about that. And Agrippa is from that line. Agrippa is from that line. So he is King Agrippa, who is from the Herodian dynasty or the Herodian line. That's who Paul is talking to. All right? All right, come on.
Acts 26, 1 through 3. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, Thou art permitted to speak for thyself. Then Paul stretched forth the hand and answered for himself.
Come on.
I think myself happy, King Agrippa,
I think myself happy, King Agrippa. Come on.
because I shall answer for myself this day before thee, touching all the things whereof I am accused of the Jews.
Read.
Especially because I know thee to be an expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews.
He said, Agrippa, I know you know because you went to school with us. This is what he's saying. I know you're an expert at what I'm about to say because you went to school with us. You know. So you know I'm not lying, Agrippa. You know what I'm saying is true. And you know the doctrine. You know the doctrine, Agrippa, because you was there. Read verse 3.
Acts 26:3.
Mhm.
Especially because I know thee to be an expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews.
Read.
Wherefore I beseech thee to hear me patiently.
That's all I want. The Messiah himself encountered Idumean converts. The Messiah, when he walked the land, he encountered Idumean converts. They often came to challenge him on his doctrine. But when you see it on there, you don't know that that's Idumean converts talking to him. So some of those scribes, Pharisees, Sadducees are Idumean converts. Some of them are Israelites, others are Idumean converts. We have watch, we're gonna see this. Let's get to it. You're gonna see how Shah dealt with these jokers. Give me John the 8th chapter. Start at verse 33, and we're going to read on down to 44, I believe.
The book of John, chapter 8, verse 33 through 44, and it reads, Then answered him, We be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free?
Stop. Read it over again. I want to read it over again. Watch, you have to listen to the word. Read it again.
Then answered him, We be Abraham's seed.
Then answered who?
And were never in
Who
bondage.
answered that? Who said that?
We be Abraham's seed.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, but let's see. Let's see. Go to verse 31.
And it reads, Then said Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him.
We on John chapter 8, verse 31. That's what we started at now.
If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So he's talking to a bunch of Sadducees, Pharisees, and scribes at this point. But at this point, the scripture doesn't tell us whether or not these people are. We assume that they're Israelites because the scribes, Pharisees, Sadducees. We're assuming that. But watch what Yahushua says. Verse 33.
They answered him, We be Abraham's seed.
We Abraham's seed, which Edomites are. They are of the seed of Abraham. It's true. That's true. Come on.
And were never in bondage to any man.
And we ain't never went through we haven't been through as many captivities as you have, as your people have. That's a strange thing to say. We were never in bondage to any man. So you mean to tell me you wasn't in bondage in Egypt? You wasn't in bondage to the Persians? You wasn't in bondage? What you mean? Right? Is that what they said? We ain't in bondage we were never in bondage to anybody. That's how you know they're not Israelites. That's how you know. Read.
How sayest thou, Ye shall be made free? Yahushua answered him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin.
Read.
Oh, excuse me.
Read. 35.
And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed.
Go back to 35 because you have to know hip talk when you read the Bible. Go back to 35 because he put him on blast right then and there. We ran right past it, but he put him on blast. Go to 35.
And the servant abideth not in the house forever.
The servant, you a slave. That's who he's talking to. And these men were in leadership position at the time. And they were working at the temple. They were being at the temple. He said, the servant abideth not in the house forever. You a servant. You don't abide in the house forever. Come on.
But the Son abideth.
But the children of Israel really abide forever in the house. You a slave. He really cutting into him. He's really cutting into him. Come on.
If the Son therefore shall make you free,
come on,
ye shall be free indeed. I know that ye are Abraham's seed.
I know you Abraham's seed. Come on.
But ye seek to kill me.
Come on.
Because my word have no place with you.
Because my word have no place with you. He ain't never told an Israelite that. Have you ever told an Israelite that? No. My word has no place with you. This ain't for you. In other words, this ain't for you. Come on.
I speak that which I have seen with my father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father.
Read it again. Read it again. Read it
I
again.
speak that which I have seen with my father.
I speak what my father says, because he speak it too. Now read.
And ye do what ye have seen with your father.
And you do what you see your father do, which is the devil. That's what he's saying. My father is Abba Yah. Your father is the devil. He's making a separation because they're not Israelites. He's talking to them, but they're in leadership position. They are converts. Come on.
And they answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father.
Abraham is our father. You notice none of them said Jacob is. Have you noticed that? None of them said Jacob is my father. They keep saying Abraham is my father. Come on.
Yahushua said unto them, if ye were Abraham's children, ye would do the works of Abraham. But now ye seek to kill me, a man that have told you the truth, which I have heard of Yah. This did not Abraham.
Abraham didn't act like this. Come on.
Ye do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication.
Come on.
We have one father, even Yah.
He said we not born of fornication. We came through our mother and father just like you did. Why are you trying to play us like we don't belong? That's what he's saying. What you mean? We do have a father. Our father be Abraham. You notice they keep saying Abraham and not Jacob.
Right.
Everywhere he's talking to Israelites, they say our father's Jacob. Not these dudes. Not these dudes here. They're not saying that. Come on.
Yahushua said unto them,
Read.
if Yah were your father, ye would love me. For I proceeded forth and came from him. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me.
Come on.
Why do ye not understand my speech?
I don't understand what I'm saying. Come on.
Even because ye cannot hear my word.
Read on.
Ye are of your father the devil.
Read it again.
And ye are of your father the devil.
Read it again.
Ye are of your father the devil.
Read it again.
And ye are of your father the devil.
Come on.
And the lust of your father ye will do.
Come on.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
He was what?
A murderer from the beginning.
He was what?
A murderer from the beginning.
Who was a murderer from the beginning? Cain was a murderer from the beginning, and you're the children of Cain. Esau coming back on the earth and in the earth. Your daddy's a murderer in the beginning. Yahushua is cutting them to the quick. Come on.
And abode not in the truth.
And you cannot abide in truth. Read.
Because there is no truth in him.
Come on.
When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own.
Read.
For he is a liar.
Come on.
And the father of it.
You the devil. And the Bible speaks of. That's what Yahushua is saying. You the devil who the Bible speaks of. We don't care if you picked up our book and read it. You still the devil. We don't care if you picked up our book and tried to perform it. You still the devil. You can't do it. That's why you had to create a whole nother book called the Talmud. Give me Isaiah 26 and 10. I don't care what you learned. You still the devil.
Isaiah 26 verse 10. Let favor be showed to the wicked.
Let them go off into leadership. Let them do it. Come on.
Yet will he not learn righteousness?
He will not learn righteousness for nothing. He can't. It's just not in him. Come on.
In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly?
Come on.
And will not behold the majesty of the Most High?
Give me Proverbs 16 and 4.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 4. And it reads, the Most High have made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil.
So get ready, Esau, for your day. Get ready for the day of the wicked. Get ready. That being said, we're going to say hallelujah. Hope that you can glean and learn something from the lesson. So may the Most High watch between you and me while we're absent one to another. That will say, shalom.